Do you have projects you just can't seem to finish? Do you lack motivation? Do you miss your crochet group and the inspiration they bring to the project? Well, come crochet with me and we'll make beautiful projects together. Welcome to New Crochet, where we focus on completing projects and drawing inspiration from others, seasons, and fashions.
Okay, so I'm back to finish up my cap, and I've done a Tunisian crochet with this is the back side. This is the Tunisian simple stitch, okay, and then this is the Tunisian full stitch, and I've done 12 of the simple stitch and then switched to the full stitch for 36 more, with a total of 48 on my row. And I'm finishing off, I'm using a 6mm Tunisian crochet hook, the long one. I can't use my regular crochet hook for this one, just because I've got more stitches than I did on my scarf, and so I need that extra length. You can also use a Tunisian crochet hook that has the loop. Sometimes it's a string, sometimes it's plastic, whatever floats your boat. Okay, we're finishing this off, and I've done about, I think last count was 76 rows. I put it around my head, like this Tunisian simple stitch is going to be around my forehead. That's the bottom part of the cap, okay? So you may not do 76 rows, you may. I'm using a lightweight yarn. Okay, this is Yarn Bee. Of course, I like Hobby Lobby, especially when they have their 30% off week on their yarn. This was $4.99, but you know, I got my 30% off. So it's the Soft and Sleek DK low peel fiber, and this is 478 yards. But I'm using Irish Rain, which has dark green and light green in it, and it's really pretty. So that's what got me my 76 rows. And then with this Tunisian crochet, it has a thick, it makes a nice thick hat. All right, so I've got to the end of my 76th row, and here's 77. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here like I'm Tunisian simple stitch crochet, like in the front of that, a bar, I guess we call that a bar, and then I'm going to slip stitch. Okay, so I'm going into the next one and just gonna keep slip stitching. And that's how we fasten off. I mean, that's how we end this row. And I don't know if you can see that up close, but that's how the end is gonna look when we get done. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but you're gonna need a tapestry needle and some scissors. All right, so we've gotten to the point where we typically go in for our full stitch, and so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go through that loop, but I'm going to slip stitch when I come back out. So that's going to fasten that off. All right, that's going to produce our finished edge. So as we would go front to back for our full stitch, we're just going to slip stitch. Instead of casting on, basically we're casting off. I'm doing this all the way down to the end. And yes, it will curl up some on you. It's okay. We're gonna deal with that. Okay, so I'm in my last stitch, and remember, we get that long bar and that short bar and go through, and yes, we're gonna do it in this last row as well, and then just slip stitch. That's our last stitch in this row. All right, what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna get enough of my yarn to stitch these ends together. So at least to the end of this, and I'm probably gonna double that to make sure I have enough. All right, and I'm just gonna snip that off my pretty new scissors. All right, and then I am going to fasten this off, like pulling the rest of that yarn through that hole, and just tighten that up. But I want this long tail so I can use my tapestry needle. All right, I have my tapestry needle. I'm threading that tail. And what you want to do next is put your pretty sides together. Now, on this is our simple stitch and then our full stitch. So that's the way it's gonna go. It's not the other way around, because remember, this simple stitch is the band around our forehead. So pretty sides together, and you can use you know, safety pins, whatever you want to make sure that you're even across, all the way across to the end. And I think that's what I'm gonna do, is get mine out. So stitch markers, whatever you call it. Some people, I've seen some people use safety pins so it doesn't slide out, but basically that's what I use. And I do have a safety pin in there. So I'm gonna set about 4 in here. Definitely one at the end. And I want to make sure it lines up at the end of the simple stitch. So finding that gap on each side. which is about right there. And I'm gonna put my marker there. All right. And you don't want to force this or make it stretch it or anything like that. Just, and I know it's hard because it curls up on you, but just do the best that you can. So I'm gonna put one about right here. And the last one is about right here. And if you notice, I did not put one at the beginning because surely I can tell where the beginning is. All right. So I'm going to go through the end of this, which is, you can see that the tip end of that is the like a double yarn right there, and so I'm finding the tip end of this one as well, which is a double yarn. I want that kind of snug. And keep working with this, making sure it doesn't curl up on you as you go. There goes the glasses. All right. So I want to catch this double yarn right there. Get that one out of my way. Okay, like that. Okay, and we're just gonna whip stitch this all the way down to the end. Okay, and just make sure that your markers line up the way you've set them up as you work your way down. Okay, all right, and I'm working these last couple stitches on the end. And I'm gonna go back and double that one on the end. Make sure that's maybe triple. Like to make sure that's nice and tight. All right. And it's not going anywhere. And then whenever I fasten off, I'm gonna go back and pick up a few threads. And this is how I'm gonna make my my knot. Back in and pull that up, tighten, and I'm going to do it one more time, but I'm going to go in at a different angle. All right, I have my loop. I'm coming through the back side of it, and I'm just going to pull that tight. All right, and then here I'm gonna weave in this end. Well, I've already got it on my tapestry needle. I'm just gonna go in that border or that edge that I just created. Not too tight. I don't want any unnecessary bunches. And then I'm gonna work my way back down. All right. And some people do, I think it's called rule of 3, where you go back in again. And hey, if you want to do that, let's go ahead and do it. That way, if there's any unraveling, you've got some thread to work with, you know, to weave that back in. All right. I'm gonna snip this off. And look, I had some left. Okay. So what I did whenever I cut that off, I just want to review. I made it the length of my cap, and then I went back again, and then I added about 2 or 3 more inches on the end, and that gave me enough yarn to work with to do my edging on this cap. And let's see how it looks on this side. There's definitely a border there. You can see that band. Maybe I should have gone a little deeper and woven, you know, a little tighter like that. And I may still go back and do that. Especially, I'm gonna try this on again and make sure, because yeah, it's fitting pretty good. So I don't want it too tight, but yet again, this is for a team, so I don't think it would hurt to go back again and clean up my edges here and just take in a little bit more on that, if you see how I did that. So I'm going to go back and do that. But I want to show you how I do the top of the cap as well, and we'll be pretty much done. And I may even go back and do an edging on the rim of this cap, and it'll help it if I do just a single crochet band across here. It will help keep this from rolling. I know you can see it still has that tendency to want to roll, so yeah, I got myself about 24 inches of yarn I've cut off, and I'm threading with my tapestry needle. All right, I'm going into the ugly side and I'm weaving this in. So I want to end up back out the top, so that's where I'm starting to weave in. All right, and I'm gonna flip this back where the pretty sides are together, and I'm working basically on the inside. So I'm gonna take that edge or that band, and here's my trim on the end where I sew those together. And basically, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna sew these edges together like this. It's just a simple whip stitch. And I try to make sure that I catch the 2 bars on this side and the 2 bars on the other side. And I go through both of those because I don't like any holes. And it's not that you can't go back and fix those holes, but I prefer to try to get it right the first time. Not always, but you know. Alright, and I'm going to make my way all the way down to the other end, and I'll show you how it turns out. This is fairly simple. I mean, we've made ourselves basically a rectangle here. And let's see. Oh, that was the pretty side. Hold on. Oh, this is the pretty side. Yeah, I'm just gonna, I like to make sure my corners poke out, but this is like a slouchy cap, you know, figure teens like grungy, slouchy, you know, that whoever this goes to, they might like that. So, and then it's long enough on the end to pull over the ears, so if it's really cold, they can stay warm. But that's it, and it's fairly simple to do and fun, so you have fun with it.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's cozy crochet session. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button and ring the bell so you never miss a stitch. Share your beautiful creations with us in the comments below. Keep those hooks moving, and until next time, happy crocheting.